we're good. All right, guys. So we have officially begun. All right. So today, what we're going to be doing is talking about tone and mood. Does anyone know what either of those terms mean? No. Mike?
Tone is the way you write your story, and mood is the way you want the story to sound.
Okay. Good. That's an excellent way to define it. As you can see here, I created a visual for you to look at. If you want, go ahead and copy this definition down in your notes. You will probably need it later. For those of you in the back who can't see, tone is the author's attitude toward the writing and the readers. I'll repeat that. Tone is the author's attitude toward the writing and the readers. Now just look up here at me when you have that copy down. Okay, so let's go on to mood then. Mood is the general atmosphere created by the author's words. Mood is the general atmosphere created by the author's words. Another way to think about mood is that it's the feeling that the reader gets from reading a novel or from reading a short story. Now, just like tone, mood can be both humorous or serious, and it can change from situation to situation. It all depends on the setting and the choice of vocabulary. Okay. You guys have these definitions down? No. Okay, so you'll have a worksheet. Just set that aside for a moment. What I want to do is kind of illustrate my point. When we're talking about tone and mood, tone is the way we say things. It's the way that we deliver a message. So what I have here on the board is a simple 8-word sentence. I want you to read it silently to yourselves, and then think about how many different meanings this sentence might have if we change the tone. Okay? And in this case, I'll give you a hint. Tone is the way we, might be the way we emphasize a word, okay? As much as the way we say it. So looking at this sentence, does anyone have any guesses as to how many different meanings we can make out of this? Kim? Mm-hmm.
Probably 4.
4, okay. Anyone have any other guesses? Amira? 5. Okay, let's take a look. I'm going to read this sentence in a different way each time, and I'm going to put emphasis on one word. And at the end, we'll count out how many different meanings I have. I didn't say you stole the red hat. What does that sentence mean? I didn't say you stole the red hat. Michael?
That's saying like you didn't say someone stole it, maybe someone else said it.
Right. Someone else might have said it, but it wasn't me. I didn't say that. Okay? Let's try the second word. I didn't say you stole my red hat. What do we mean there? I didn't say you stole my red hat.
Right. The person misunderstood what you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't the one who said that. How about the third word? I didn't say you, I'm sorry. I didn't say you stole my red hat.
You can say it like you didn't say something, but maybe somebody else did it without you.
Excellent. Okay, so there's still the implication that that I think you stole my red hat, but I didn't say it out loud. I didn't say you stole my red hat, Derek.
You might have said somebody else stole it.
Mm-hmm. Good. Number 5. I didn't say you stole my red hat. Yeah.
Say maybe you borrowed it or lost it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what Amarian said is that maybe I lent it to him, maybe I let him borrow it, and then it just went missing. But I didn't say that it was stolen. Number 6, I didn't say you stole my red hat.
It means the hat didn't belong to you.
Mm-hmm. or it wasn't my hat that you stole, right? Two more. I didn't say that you stole my red hat. Yes.
Might not be red.
It might not be red. It might be green, blue, brown. We don't know. And lastly, I didn't say you stole my red hat. Yeah, there.
It could be like a different thing, like or red shoelaces or something.
Exactly. Okay, so it could be anything that's red. Maybe the polo shirts that you guys are wearing, or a sweater, or a pair of shoes. Point is, it doesn't have to be a hat. So, was anyone counting up how many that was?
8.
8. Okay. So we changed the meaning of this sentence, and it was written the exact same way, but we changed it 8 different times just by changing the inflection, just by changing the tone of which word we were emphasizing. Okay. So our objectives for today is to look at tone and to look at mood, and also kind of examine the difference between them, compare them. So if you take out these worksheets that were just passed out, we're going to go over these examples as a class. What I'd like to do is go over the first 5 together. I know at 20 after you break for lunch, so we'll pause the recording and we'll go to lunch, and then when we come back we'll finish. And I'd like to try and tackle 6 and 7 individually, and then we'll come back and review it as a class. Okay? But let's get started just with the first 5. So can I have a volunteer please to read the first example? Yeah, Shemaya.
Bouncing into the room, she lit up the vicinity with a joyous glow on her face as she told about her fiance and their wedding plans.
Okay, so what is the tone of this sentence?
Happy?
Happy, and how do we know that? Yeah, go ahead.
It said that she lit up the vicinity with a joyous glow.
Okay, so let's take a look at that second blank. Context clues. What context clues do we have in this sentence? Now keep in mind, when we're looking at context clues, it's not the whole sentence. We're just looking at maybe words or in some cases phrases that give us an idea of what they're really saying. So Amir, go ahead. Sure, joyous. Go ahead and write that down. Derek. Bouncing in through. Is bouncing in through, is that something that someone who's really sad or upset does? No. You have to be happy. If you're bouncing in the room, that's usually a sign that things are going pretty well for you. Okay. And of course, what is happening? What's she talking about?
A wedding plan.
Wedding plans. So that's something that is usually a pretty positive thing, right? Okay, so then what is the mood then? Okay. Now keep in mind, again, tone is what the author's attitude is, and mood is how he wants the readers to feel. So do you think that tone and mood could be pretty similar?
Yes.
In this case, they probably will be, because his characters are happy, it's a joyous scene, he probably wants the reader to be kind of on the same level. So what would we say is the mood for the first example? Any ideas? Yeah, Amir. Yeah, sure. We could put happy either for tone or for mood. I'm just going to write down some of these words that we use up on here. You can copy this chart if you'd like. It will probably come in handy at some point. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Someone to read it, please. Talia.
She lay in the corner, clutching her tattered blanket and shaking
Convulsively.
and she
Feverishly.
feverishly searched the room for the unknown danger that awaited her.
Okay, so what's going on in this example? Mario.
Sounds like she's scared.
Right, okay, scared. What else? Yep, okay.
Afraid or fear.
Sure, scared, afraid, fearful. Good. Okay, what are the context clues that we use to determine that she's afraid of something?
Shaking convulsively.
Shaking convulsively, Jotham.
Clutching her tattered blanket.
She's clutching a tattered blanket. Yep. Amira?
Feverish.
Feverishly. So convulsively and feverishly. Those words tell us that this woman is so frightened of something that she's actually physically ill. Okay, so the author just is trying to convey that she is very afraid of whatever's going on. So what's the mood for the reader? What's the reader feeling? Heather? Sure, anxious, and what else? Worried. Okay. Heaven, can you come up and write that under mood?
Would unknown dangers be a context clue too?
Unknown dangers, absolutely. Because we know that the situation is in some way hazardous. There's some sort of peril or conflict. Thank you. What I have down here for mood is also suspenseful. All of your answers were good, but keep in mind this is a good example of the difference between tone and mood. So in one case, in the tone, the author is trying to convey the sense that this person is very afraid of what's going to happen next. They might feel that they're about to die. They might feel that something really bad is going to happen. Whereas us, as the reader, we get that. But for us, we're kind of fascinated. The difference is that the character in this wouldn't think this was suspenseful. They wouldn't be reading along to enjoy what happens, next. They just want to get the heck out of there. They want to survive. Whereas for us, we're kind of anxiously, but also kind of eagerly looking forward to, what's going to happen to this character. Are they going to survive, or are they going to meet their horrible demise here? So that's kind of a subtle difference between the two. Okay. So let's go on to number 3. Kevin.
Bursting through the door, the flustered mother screamed uncontrollably at the innocent teacher who gave her child a nap.
Okay, bursting through the door. Is that something that a happy person does?
No.
It's gonna go burst through the. No, it's what do you have to be if you're bursting through the door?
Angry.
Exactly, you're very angry at something. Yeah, let's look for the tone. What's the tone? Furious. What was that? Rage. Yeah. So as Sebastian said, this person is outraged. Yeah, Sebastian, do you need handwriting? Can you go ahead and write those up? Oh, you don't? Okay. Someone else? Can someone? Yeah, it's Leah. Just go ahead and write outraged and furious under tone right here. And if we run out of room, then we can start a new page. Okay. What are our context clues for this? Joaquin.
Scream uncontrollably.
Scream uncontrollably. Yes, Heaven. Bursting through the door. Perfect, thank you. Amira? Good, okay. Now, what else is interesting about this sentence? If you look at it again, how does the passage describe the teacher? Innocent. Okay, so what's the significance of including that word in there? Do you think that this woman who's bursting through the door is in the right? Do you think that this is some righteous indignation? Or do you think that she's kind of being a little bit unreasonable? Unreasonable. Okay, and that's again because of what? Because of... And because but how do we know that this woman is being unreasonable? Is my question.
Because we all know that the teacher doesn't really give you a bad grade, you earn a grade.
Right.
And the mother is taking it out on the teacher, even though she should be taking it out on the child.
Okay, sure. Derek?
And also, in the sentence it said at the innocent teacher.
Innocent teacher. There it is. Okay. So what if I changed this sentence? I rewrote it as it was. Bursting through the door, the flustered mother screamed uncontrollably at the innocent teacher who gave her child an F. What if I said, change the word innocent to lazy or incompetent? The mother screamed uncontrollably at the lazy teacher who gave So we have to make sure that we're looking at all the context clues. And here's the deal with reading, especially when there are words that are just kind of thrown in there. Those are sometimes some very significant words. This sentence could be rewritten without the words innocent or lazy in it, and it would still make sense. It would still stand grammatically. But with that word, it gives us a better idea of how this woman is reacting to what her teacher's done. And it gives us a better idea of the scenario as a whole, okay? So we have our context clues, again, bursting, flustered, screaming uncontrollably. So what's the mood?
The readers can be surprised.
Surprised? Jonathan?
Overdramatic.
Over dramatic, that's good. Someone write these up on their mood. Yeah, Jonathan, you want to go up here? So I would say surprised, maybe, you said over dramatic, that's good. Agitated? All of those are good examples. Okay, let's move on to number 4. I'm sorry, am I supposed to release you guys at 12:25 for lunch?
Yeah.
Okay, it's time. Why don't we, Demetrius, you can pause the recording, we'll just line up, and then we'll go, I'll take you guys down to the